One of the biggest fears we have when we've been hurt or injured is making it worse or getting hurt again. It would set us back even further, make us feel even more incapable, and cause more frustration and confusion than we already have. This is exactly why we are making a point to go over the following 4 words, which will help us get on exactly the same page about what you're feeling, why you might be feeling it, and how to make confident decisions about what to do, when to do it, and when to stop. These 4 words will help us understand what you're experiencing so that we can make the next right decision no matter what you're feeling. There's always a best next thing to do. Better understanding where we are helps us decide the next best thing. The first word is insult. Insult can be defined as the unconscious response to stimulus. The unconscious response to stimulus. Here are some examples. Right now, your shirt is insulting your skin. The seat you're on, if you're sitting, is likely insulting your thighs. These things aren't even on your radar most of the time, but they are input to your system. Does this make sense? The second word is irritation. Irritation is close to insult, but there's a key difference. Irritation is the conscious response to stimulus. The conscious response to stimulus. So, for example, if I ask you to freeze right now, no movement, hold this for 90 minutes. Eventually you'd say, I need to move, and you would adjust your position. This conscious decision that the sensation you were experiencing was uncomfortable was the response to the irritation. The moment you decided you needed to change position, insult became irritation. Do you follow me there? Here's the deal with irritation. It can be as simple and benign as I need to move in my chair to excruciating. It can be the kind of sensation that makes you want to call an ambulance. On a scale of 1 to 10, it could be a 1 that you barely notice or a 10 that makes you want to down a whole bottle of Tylenol. The most important thing to know about irritation is that irritation is required for adaptation to occur. Irritation can be considered stress. Stress is only a problem if it exceeds our capacities and escapes our ability to effectively respond. In order for our bodies to become healthy and strong so we can do what we want with more freedom, we need to determine the appropriate amount of irritation that is due so our bodies respond in the ways we like. In a nutshell, intentional irritation within reasonable boundaries is not only okay, but often required for progress. Irritation outside of the boundaries we establish can do more harm than good, and we want to make sure that we are alert to the irritation we're facing so we can make confident decisions. The third word is where things start to get interesting. The third word is pain. Pain can be defined as the negative emotional response to irritation. The negative emotional response to irritation. What's important to consider about pain is that it is often tied to uncertainty. The more uncertain you are about what you're feeling, the more pain you'll experience. For example, the first time a child stubs their toe while running outside and scrapes off some skin, leading to some blood and a really tender toe, what's their reaction? Ow! Many will cry and want mom or dad to perform some magic to make it go away. They're shocked and afraid and they aren't sure what's happening to their toe. Now imagine that you stub your toe. Yeah, it hurts and you'll probably curse. You'll feel a tender sting and maybe some throbbing. However, you probably won't register it as an emergency. The difference is that the child hasn't been there before and is uncertain and afraid. You've been there. For the child, the emotional response to this creates what we call pain. You, on the other hand, have probably been here a handful of times and you are certain about how it will go. In a week or so, you'll probably have forgotten about your toe altogether. Irritated toe? Yes. Pain? Depends on your reaction. The fourth word is injury. Injury is the decision that I can't. Injury is the decision that I can't. For example, many coaches in high-level athletics will ask players, are you hurt or are you injured? The premise being that hurt might mean they keep playing, injured means they stop. If we sever a tendon completely, Our muscles might be incapable of moving a limb of ours. We might be injured in our ability to perform a certain movement. What's crucial about injury is that in many cases, it comes down to our decision to perform a movement or not based on the irritation or pain we experience. If someone has a joint that hurts them so intensely that they choose not to use it, they'll consider themselves injured in their ability to perform that movement. For example, someone reports a 9 out of 10 pain in her knee when she walks downstairs. It doesn't hurt when she bikes, when she walks, when she runs, or when she pushes a sled. It hurts when she gets off the toilet and a bit when she goes up the stairs. But when she goes down the stairs, it hurts so much that she only descends on her other leg, never loading her painful knee. We might consider her temporarily injured in her ability to go downstairs right now. This means that we shift our thinking away from, I have a bad knee, to, I have a knee that doesn't go downstairs well. With a common agreement about these words, we can start to look ahead to our movement starting right now and make clear, confident decisions about whether or not what we are doing is the right thing. There are 4 rules to follow as we use our bodies to make sure that what we are feeling is okay, to identify if it's not, and to use the next best informed step no matter what. The first rule is that during movement, irritation is never to exceed a 4 out of 10. We want to know that during movement, irritation registers as less than or equal to a 4 out of 10 according to you. This is because, as we mentioned, some irritation is often due for adaptations to happen, especially when body parts aren't used to certain movements or have been bothered by them in the past. A 4 out of 10 or less is what we will consider acceptable irritation. More than this, and we might be causing more harm than good. The second rule is that as we move, irritation must either stay the same or reduce. For example, if you're going through a set of 8 repetitions of an exercise and it feels like a 4 out of 10, if you feel okay to continue, we want to know that from rep to rep, irritation either remains a 4 or decreases to a 3, 2, 1, or 0. If either of these are the case, great, we're clear to continue. If irritation increases rep to rep, we stop and change something. Whether it's the range of motion, weight, or movement altogether, something needs to be altered so we can make progress without undue irritation. The third rule is that when movement stops, irritation stops. For example, as you complete your set and return to rest, we want to know that what you felt during exercise stops while you aren't moving. So when you put the weight down, there's nothing residual telling you that it hurts. This is a great sign, and movement should continue. If you stop the movement, put the weight down, and feel a lingering irritation, it means that we need to adjust our approach and that there are certain tissues that need to be stimulated in a different way or to rest altogether in order to return to a state of greater health. The fourth rule is that within 48 hours, irritation should register as no greater than how you reported it during exercise. For example, if you're doing 3 sets of 8 high pulls on a Friday, we want to know that by Sunday, irritation has made its way down to a 3, 2, 1, 0, or at the very least, is no higher than a 4. If by Sunday we feel muscle soreness, but none of the irritation we felt during exercise, this is a great sign we should continue on the path we're on. If we wake up Saturday morning and it feels like there's a knife in our shoulder, this means that we need to adjust the next session's demands to more perfectly and conservatively meet your shoulder where it is so that we can move forward from a new baseline. If we stick to these guidelines both in and outside of our sessions, we'll be well on our way to measurable improvements in function and a strong influence over our tissue health. Any deviation from these guidelines, especially when it comes to taking on more undue irritation, well, this can derail our progress and set us back. Keeping a keen eye on these guidelines will ensure that we make the most efficient path forward towards the function that we want.